one local company has just won an award, which, as you'll find out, surprised them a little bit, because they didn't quite know they were in for that particular award. And it's a company that, in terms of the name, you'll be aware of the family name Marr, and its connections with this area. It's been around Hull and East Riding for a long time. The family Marr and fishing and everything like that. Joseph Marr started the company way back in 1860. But now, sort of an offshoot, I don't know whether offshoot is the right word or not, the Ice Company has just won a big national award. And Paul Doughty is here from the Ice Company in the studio this morning. Paul, nice to see you.
Morning, Byrnsey.
Tell us the award you've just won.
Well, it's called the Grocer Gold Award.
Right.
And we won the award for Exporter of the Year.
Right.
Which is quite an interesting award, as you say, because we weren't expecting to win the award, because we didn't even think we were entering the award when the Grocer, which is the national magazine for the food industry, announced who they were going to invite to become a part of the group who were up for various awards. We actually thought we were going to be in the Small Business of the Year award, but apparently we've done so well with our exports that they put us into that category. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks ago at the Guildhall in London, they announced that the IceCo had won Exporter of the Year, which we were bowled over by, so it was fantastic.
Tell us about the IceCo and the connection to the Marr family. Well, the famous family in this area.
Yeah, the connection with the Marr family still continues. I joined 5 years ago, and I was brought in by Charles Marr, who's fifth generation of the family, and a couple or 3 years ago, the sixth generation, which is Polly Marr, Philip Marr and Belle Tyson, took over the business, and they're heavily involved in the day-to-day running of the business, because as well as the Ice Company, we have other parts of the business. We have a storage and logistics business, a mineral water business, a property business, a vessel management business. So the Joseph Marr group, if you like, is a lot more than just the Ice Company, but the Ice Company is the biggest part of it now, because the fishing business was sold off around about 10 years ago.
Right, but that's where the business started.
Yeah. How it started, my understanding is how it started was very much Joseph Marr, as you say, in 1860 decided to have a boat catching fish, and to keep the fish fresh when the fish were caught, you needed ice to keep it fresh. And so back in those days, they used to, I believe, sail up to the glaciers of Norway and wherever, and actually bring ice back and sit it in ice houses on the dockside.
Right.
And it's a bit close to Newcastle, really, because we're now shipping ice cubes to Sweden and Denmark and the Scandinavian region. So that's how it all started out, though. The ice was to keep fish fresh, and over time, the family realised there was an opportunity for consumers to actually use ice at home for parties and cocktails and this sort of thing, and it's just become bigger and bigger and bigger over the last sort of 20 or 30 years.
That's a bit Coles to Newcastle. You're sending ice, you're manufacturing ice, and then it's going to somewhere where it can be icy quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, it is quite a funny thing when you're up there in the middle of January and there's 3 feet of snow, and you've just been talking about packs of ice from England for the Swedish consumers. But yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. And it's been very, very successful actually in all the countries that we work in. It's growing enormously, you see.
So how big's the company then? What sort of
the company is size. We've got nearly 300 employees in total, turnover around about £30 million. And the ice product that we sell, part of the reason that we're exporting and winning that award is that in the UK we supply a lot of the big, or pretty much all of the big retailers. So there's not much room for growth, if you like, in the UK. So we looked east to start with, and we thought, well, actually, what about the rest of Europe? And actually, we found that they really, really appreciate the products that we're manufacturing. But what's most interesting, I guess, for this show in some respects is the factory closest to the studio is up near Driffield.
Right.
It's called Blue Keld.
Right. Blue Keld Water?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
The family bought the business around about 9-10 years ago. It was a mineral water site and still is, and we export Blue Keld mineral water around the world as well. But we bought it so that we can actually use that water source to make a spring water ice. Initially that was in Waitrose, but now it's in Tesco and Sainsbury's, and that's the ice which our export market really, really seems to like.
So is this posh ice then?
It's posh ice, yes. If you're going to have an ice cube in a glass, you've got to have posh ice.
Who knew that you could export ice?
Not me when I joined the company.
Nor me.
Yeah.
In a £30 million business. It seems strange. Really.
Well, I think it's because people say to me, well, it's just frozen water, and there are different types of frozen water, you see. And the standard ice that we make, which is fantastic, is made from standard mains water. The blue cold water literally comes out of the ground up there, and obviously we clean it up a little bit, and then we pack it, and that's the product. That's if you're going to have a party where you stack lots of bottles in ice, where you're not going to drink the ice, then the standard bag which you find in Tesco and Sainsbury's, etc., is fine. But if you want to have a great drink, if you're having a gin and tonic or a whiskey on the rocks or whatever, you want better quality, surely, because you want to relax and enjoy the drink, and that's where we think blue cold works really, really well. So, and that's what as I say, the European market seem to really buy into, which is great.
It's quite fascinating, really.
It is, isn't it?
Well, it is, really. Maybe I'm being simple this morning. I'm struggling to get my head around stuff. We've been talking about GM food and things like that.
Yeah, we're not GM.
No, I wasn't suggesting you were, but actually there's a business to be made in exporting ice.
Yeah, well, it does surprise, frankly, most people I ever talk to. So my dinner party conversation has changed radically in the last 5 years, and to the better, I think.
Okay, what does this award from the grocer do for you then? Does it add to your business? Does it?
Well, I think it adds to the business in respect of we're growing our UK business as well as our export business, but particularly for exporters. For the customers in those export markets. When we try and rationalise what might make sense for them, if you like, to purchase from us. The fact that we're Exporter of the Year in amongst other winners at the awards were people like Coca-Cola, Heineken, Muller Dairy. So lots and lots of big names there. And Little Old Ice Company from Hull, if you like, are one of those names. So in terms of credentials for our European customers, I think it helps enormously that they would recognise that we've been recognised by the biggest, if you like, media magazine for food in the UK. And they'll probably be familiar with it over in their own countries, probably.
What are the big challenges for a company like yourself, or is it all plain sailing?
The big challenge is, right now I'm looking out of your window, Byrnsey, and it's a little bit grey, a little bit dull, not particularly warm, and it's the middle of summer. So I guess one of the challenges is, last summer, to take an example, we had some really hot weather in July, if you remember, in August, and our sales can quadruple in a day.
Right.
And what that means is, when I say our sales, ice is a huge volume selling product. And instead of shipping out, 2 or 3 vehicles a day out of our factory, we're probably shipping 20 just to one retailer. So it goes from, it's feast or famine, it's very little movement, potentially, and then a huge volume of movement.
How do you sort your cash flow out of the business? It's a very technical question.
No, we have accountants for that.
Right.
But no, cash flow is clearly integral to the plot for us, and it is very, very difficult in the first half of the year. The demand for ice is so great that we have to, all year round, be manufacturing ice. But clearly we typically sell it in heavyweight volumes between, say, April and September.
So where do you store it then?
Now, that's one of the other parts of our business. The family realised a few years ago that the volume of sales was growing so much they needed a larger cold store. So our largest site and our head office is in South Kirby, which is in West Yorkshire, and we have a 32,000 pallet cold store there, which in context, it's a 22-acre site, it's huge. And in that, right now, we've got around about 15,000 pallets of ice, which typically would last for, let's say, 4 weeks. But if the sun shines, it'll be gone in a week.
Right.
And that was the challenge we had last summer. And actually, that was the reason why we applied to win Small Business of the Year, because we kept all the retailers in full supply through the hottest summer for 7 years. But as I say, we won the export, which was fantastic.
Have you got ships going out of? Do you use the Humber ports or anything like that?
When we go abroad,
Are they full of ice? Or are the ships full of ice sailing down the Humber?
We have ice collected from Blue Keld up the road. It drops down to the Humber, and it's shipped over to, as I say, Denmark and Sweden. We do Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, France. So we're going quite a long way, and we even have ice shipped to Hong Kong. Now I know.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because the expats over there, they may be I'm generalising here.
Yeah.
The story I'm being told, because this wasn't my doing, by the way, they don't trust the water. So if you don't trust the water, you don't trust the ice that comes from the water.
Right. Yeah.
So we actually ship our Blue Keld mineral water out there, and now we ship our ice as well.
Right. So there's ice from this region
from in Hong Kong
going halfway around the world
and
in a ship.
There is some down in Australia right now as well, but I'm not even going to bore you with the story about Australia.
Right.
But we are.
You're not boring me.
We are looking to expand further. One of the reasons we've won the award actually is because what we've done is developed a range of ices, and although I'm joking about it, we actually do have different types of ice, and we're about to launch, and here's an exclusive for your show.
Go on then.
We're about to launch, and it'll be in the Grocer magazine this weekend, a brand new ice, and instead of having lots of little ice cubes in your glass, which is nice, we're now launching what we're calling a super cube. And the Super Cube comes from what we saw down in Spain, where the gin and tonic bars, because gin and tonic's a big drink in Spain, they have a glass full of gin and tonic, and believe me, you get a lot of gin in there, with one giant ice cube. So we're launching giant ice cubes called the Super Cube in the next few weeks. And like I say, it'll be in the magazine this weekend. So that's going to be in Tesco shortly, and then in Sainsbury's, and potentially in the others. And we've also got it already in Luxembourg, can you believe? So Super Cubes is the next big thing in ice.
Wow. Who knew? No, seriously, Paul. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. So a £30 million business employing how many people did you say?
Just short of 300. Yeah.
Right, okay. And plans to expand, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we can't carry on shipping ice for the rest of time across into Europe or beyond the near part of Europe. So in the longer term, there's a likelihood that we'll have something out in Europe, and potentially who knows where else, because we'd like to tackle other parts of the European market and then go further afield. But shipping is quite costly, so we have to figure that one out.
Right, well, I can imagine. Well, thank you very much for your time this morning. Well done to everybody at the Ice Co., which its business roots are back with the Marr family and the fishing firm founded by Joseph Marr locally back in 1860. You've educated me this morning, Paul. Thank you very much. And well done on the award.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me in.
No, it's quite all right. It's really good. Thank you for letting us know about it. We like to celebrate local success and find out.
Well, I'm hoping the family are all listening to this right now, so we're all very pleased. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Thank you very much for your time this morning.